Yo, what is up, Sex Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be doing all Call of Duty Zombies melee weapons. Now, this is from World at War to Black Ops 2. We're going to be saving Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies for when all the DLC comes out, because if we started including Exo Zombies now, it will be outdated as soon as the next DLC comes out, so we're going to hold off on some Exo Zombies. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about how to get the melee weapon, what round it's useful for, and anything else you might need to know about the melee weapon. Now real quick before we actually start talking about the melee weapons, I do talk fast, I apologize in advance, it's not really something I can help, it's just something I happen to do. So again, I apologize if I start talking fast at some points, like probably just in the past 10 seconds. So again, one more time, I apologize. Let's go ahead and get on to the melee weapons. Alright, so the first melee weapon I'm going to be talking about is just the regular knife that you spawn with in every single Call of Duty Zombies map, whether it be just a regular knife, combat knife, the shiv, and Mob of the Dead. Whatever knife you spawn with, it's that knife. Now this is probably the weakest melee weapon you could possibly get. It's only useful on round 1, then after that you're going to start taking more than one knife to kill, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows. And really, once you get up to like round 5, I would just recommend you not even knife or use this weapon whatsoever, because once you really start to get up in those high rounds like round 5 and 6, you're going to be required to do multiple knives. And a really good indicator on how many knives it's going to take on early rounds is really just what round you're on. So say you're on round 3, it's going to take around 3 knives to kill. So say if you're on round 10, you're going to have to stab a zombie about 10 times to actually kill it. Then after round 10, really zombies just become so powerful that I wouldn't even really recommend trying to stab a zombie unless you get like an insta kill or something. But that's the regular knife you spawn with, like I'm pretty sure everyone knows. So let's go ahead and get on some other weapons. Alright, so the next weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is actually the shovel. Now this is only available on the iOS version of Shinonuma, and the iOS version is basically the app for the iPhone. Now this shovel on the iOS version is actually part of the Peter's Grave Easter egg. You basically go dig up Peter's Grave and you receive a free WAW-B DG2. Now this shovel does just a little bit less damage than the Bowie Knife to regular zombies, but if you actually go knife a crawler or a hellhound, it's actually going to do more damage than the actual Bowie Knife. So really I would just compare it to the Bowie Knife. It's just a little bit weaker in some aspects and just a little bit stronger in other aspects. So I'd basically say it's on par with the Bowie Knife. Now this is not actually in any other zombies map besides the iOS version, so you can't get this on the 360, you can't get it on the PC, you can't get it on the PS3. The only way you're ever going to get this is you actually go download the app and then play it for yourself. Or unless you really can't wait and you want to go to Origins, you can get the shovel on there, but you can't use it as a melee weapon. So it really kind of sucks that the only way you can get it is through the app, but really nothing you can do about it, so let's go ahead and go to the next one. Alright, the next weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is the Bowie Knife, which is only available in Nerys, Kino, 5, Shangri-La, Moon, Transit, Nuketown, Die Rise, and Barry. The only way you're ever going to get the Bowie Knife is if you play one of those maps, and it is a wall weapon, so you have to purchase it off the wall. And like I said before, the Bowie Knife is just a little bit stronger than the actual shovel. It's going to last until about round 10, then after that it's going to be requiring multiple knives to actually kill a zombie. Unless you're knifing hellhounds or minions, then you can actually go up to the 3rd wave of hellhounds or minions. So this thing's actually going to be pretty useful if you're on Die Rise and you're actually trying to get a free perk. Now the only real downside about the Bowie Knife that I really hate is just it costs so much. It costs 3,000 points, and then by the time you actually get enough to actually get to the Bowie Knife and purchase it, you probably only have like 1 or 2 rounds to make up all those points you just spent on the Bowie Knife. So in my opinion, it's really not worth it. If it was just a little bit less points, maybe like 1,500 or 2,000, the Bowie Knife might actually be worth getting. But since it just costs so much, and by the time you're actually able to get to the Bowie Knife and purchase it, you're probably already on round 7 or 8, and really only have a couple more rounds so the Bowie Knife just stops being useful. Unless you're on like Die Rise or something and you want to use it for the minions, or if you're just playing on a map with hellhounds and want to use it on hellhounds, then by all means go ahead and grab it. But if you just simply want to use it for points, I'd much rather just stick to using a point weapon like the MP5 or something off the wall than actually using the Bowie Knife. But that's just my personal opinion, so let's go ahead and go on to the next one. The next weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is called Brains, and the only way you can get this is via console commands on PC. What you want to do is hit the tilde button, which is right next to the escape key, and type in give all and hit enter, and then once you do that you'll have all the weapons in the game, even some that you cannot actually get through the box or off the wall, and Brains is actually one of them. Now basically what Brains was actually meant to be was before World War Zombies actually dropped, Treyarch was actually going to have a game mode where you actually get to play as a zombie, sort of similar to Turn in Black Ops 2. Maybe it was exactly that, or maybe it was slightly different, I really don't know, but Treyarch was actually going to have a mode where you could play as a zombie, maybe attack your friends and stuff like that, and this was actually the player model that you were going to receive. But they took it out, but the weapon Brains is actually still available, and you basically what it is a melee weapon. You swipe and you hear the knife sound, and there's really nothing else to it. I think it might be the same strength as just a regular knife you spawn with, but it's actually pretty cool just to run around sort of pretending you're a zombie and just swipe at random things. It's not really going to help you in any way, but it's just kind of cool to do. So let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Alright, so the next weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is actually the Sickle, which is only available in Ascension and Call of the Dead, and it does the exact same amount of damage and costs the exact same amount as the Bowie Knife. It's basically the Russian equivalent to the Bowie Knife. And I actually kind of prefer the Sickle to the Bowie Knife. I just think it looks a little cooler, and you actually do some cooler animations when you actually knife some zombies. But other than that, it's literally the same exact thing as the Bowie Knife. The only real difference I can see is actually when you're doing the animations, that maybe when you have the Sickle, it takes a little bit longer for you to actually be able to knife again than the actual Bowie Knife. Probably the major downside to this weapon is that since it costs 3,000, and on both of these maps, Ascension and Call of the Dead, it's just in a terrible spot. By the time you actually get to the Sickle, it's probably already around 8 or 9. It's probably way out there, because really no one actually goes straight to the Sickle first. because on Ascension you're probably going to go straight to power and then jog and maybe hit the box. The Sickle is just literally in the back of the map, and on Call of the Dead you're probably not going to go to that side of the map until after you already turn power on. So the Sickle in both these maps is just in a really bad location to where I never grab it on either of these maps unless I already own everything. I'm just like, fuck it, let's just go ahead and buy the Sickle. But other than that, I never buy the Sickle unless I'm just like, hey, let's just go have some fun. It's really not worth it. There's really no strategy to it unless you want to use it like on the monkeys or maybe even George. I don't really know what you're thinking when you're doing that one, but unless you want to use it for those. But other than that, strategy wise, I really don't see a purpose for getting it, so let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Alright, the next weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is the Ballistic Knife, and we're just going to be talking about the melee abilities. I'm not really going to be talking about the actual shooting knives or the actual ability you get with it when you pack-a-punch it. So the melee ability, just the Ballistic Knife by itself, is about half the damage of the Bowie Knife and the Sickle. But when you actually buy the Bowie Knife or the Sickle with the Ballistic Knife, it does the exact same amount of damage as just a regular Bowie Knife or Sickle. So when you have the Ballistic Knife and the Bowie Knife or Sickle, it's just going to do the same amount of damage as if you just had the Bowie Knife. But when you actually pack-a-punch it, it's just going to do a little bit more damage, and it's actually going to be a 2-knife up to around 20, so it's actually kind of decent. And usually if I get this in the map, I would actually kind of go for the Bowie Knife or Sickle. That would actually make it kind of worth it, you know, with that 3000, you probably make it up with knifing, because the Ballistic Knife kind of knifes a little faster than the Bowie Knife and Sickle, plus all the other effects that you have with the actual shooting and being able to revive your teammates. It makes the Ballistic Knife a pretty decent weapon. It's fairly strong, it's going to last you some time. I would not have this as your main weapon. I would definitely have it as a side weapon. I would kill all the main zombies, maybe make some crawlers or something like that, and then knife whatever's left. That'd probably get you a lot of points, and you'd easily be able to make up the 3000 you spend on the Bowie Knife or Sickle. So the Ballistic Knife is actually a fairly decent weapon. I would recommend having it if you need a melee weapon, or if you just need a side weapon, or if you're playing medic, whatever it is, Ballistic Knife's got your back. So let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Alright, next up is going to be the Galba Knuckles, which was one of the first melee weapons introduced in Black Ops 2 Zombies. This is only available in Transit, Farm, Town, Nuketown Zombies, Die Rise, and Buried. And it's going to be a one-hit kill up to around 14, and it's going to cost you 6,000 points. Now, really depending on what map you're on, this can either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. I always tend to buy it once I just get enough money, just because YOLO, why not? But if I'm playing on Transit, it really just depends on how quick I can get to the part to the roof. If I can get it really fast, I might grab the Galba Knuckles. If I can't, then I'm really just like, yeah, I really don't need it. Unless you're going to go to the bank first, then by all means go ahead and grab it. On Farm and Town, I usually just end up grabbing it because it really helps you on early rounds. And in Nuketown, Die Rise, and Buried, it really all just depends on what your personal preference is. If you like to have it, then go ahead and grab it. If not, then don't even worry about it. But it's a really strong weapon. It's going to last you up to 14, like I said before. And unlike the Bowie Knife and Sickle, you can actually not equip the Galba Knuckles with the Ballistic Knife. So if you actually have the Galba Knuckles and Ballistic Knife at the same time, whenever you melee, you're going to punch them instead of actually using the Ballistic Knife, which kind of sucks. I mean, it'd probably be pretty awesome. Like, what if somehow you combined the Ballistic Knives and the Galba Knuckles to where, like, if you knife the zombie, it would also electrocute? I feel like that would be pretty freaking awesome to have. But other than that, Galba Knuckles are pretty good if you have 6,000 extra points to spare, or if you're playing on a map with a bank where you can easily get the money, go ahead and grab it. So let's go ahead and go on to the next weapon. Alright, next up is probably one of the stronger melee weapons, the Zombie Shield. This is only available in Transit, Mob of the Dead, and Origins. Now, Zombie Shield is actually really strong. It's going to be able to one-hit a zombie up to around 20, but on the other side, you're not going to gain any points from killing a zombie. Since it's a buildable, you're not going to gain anything. But hey, if you pass around 20 and you bump a zombie, you're going to get 10 points if you don't kill it, but when you actually kill it, you're not going to gain anything, which kind of sucks. But the Zombie Shield is still really strong, and if you're playing on Origins, it's really helpful for the Easter egg. But another downside to the Zombie Shield is you're only going to be able to take 15 hits before it actually breaks, and you have to go get a new one. But at least it doesn't cost money, or you don't have to go build it again. You can just go to wherever you build it and pick it up again. And another good thing about the Zombie Shield is it deflects explosive damage. So if you throw a grenade in front of you, whip out the Zombie Shield real quick, the Zombie Shield's going to deflect all explosive damage. So it's sort of like PhD Flopper, except for you can't jump off really high places and survive. But other than that, Zombie Shield is really helpful, especially when you try to do Easter eggs on certain maps that require melee weapons. Zombie Shield is definitely going to be there for you, and you can get it as many times as you want, which is freaking amazing. But like I said before, the real downside is you just really don't get any points, and it's going to break after 15 hits, which kind of sucks. But other than that, really good. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. Alright, next up is going to be the Silver and Golden Spoon, and these are only available in Mob of the Dead. Now, the Silver Spoon is roughly equivalent to the Galba Knuckles, but the Golden Spoon, on the other hand, is actually a one-hit kill up to around 34, which definitely makes us one of the strongest melee weapons in Call of Duty Zombies. But in order to actually get the Golden Sport, you're going to have to be playing on Mob of the Dead, you're going to have to go to the Golden Brigade Bridge at least once, you're going to need the Hell's Retriever and the Acid Gat or Vitriolic Withering. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is come over to this jail cell right here, and you either want to throw a frag grenade or a Hell's Retriever at it, and it's going to remove the poster. Next thing you're going to do is enter Afterlife mode and come right around here to where I'm going and come over here and zap the spoon that's lying on the ground. You're going to hear the demonic announcer laugh, and that's how you know you're doing a good job. Next thing you're going to do is enter the cafeteria, come back here, grab your Hell's Retriever, throw it right here at the spoon, and once you do it, if you do it right, you're going to hear Brutus, and he's going to start talking or say something. I can't really remember what exactly he does. I think he says he's on his period or something and needs some maxi pads, so you better hurry up and get him some maxi pads. And after that step, that's actually when you get the Silver Spoon, and like I said before, it's roughly equivalent to the Galba Knuckles. Alright, so after that, you're going to go upstairs to the infirmary, and you're going to go over to this bathtub and hold X. And once you do that, the silver spoon's going to be in the tub, and you're going to be making yourself some nice blood dinner or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of really gross. And then after that, you're going to get the acid gat or vitriolic withering, and you're going to head down here, and you're going to have to kill about 50 zombies. I would just keep killing zombies with the vitriolic withering until you hear the demonic announcers laugh. And once you do that, you're going to be Gucci. And the next thing you're going to do is head right back up to the infirmary, go up to the bathtub, hold the X button, and once you do that, a hand's going to pop out and ask you to marry it. You're going to say, fuck that shit, and you're going to grab that spork instead. And only you can actually grab the golden spork. If your friends want it, they have to be doing the same exact steps you're doing. So they have to throw the Hell's Retriever at the spoon in the cafeteria, and they have to go up and grab the golden spork, but they don't have to have their own vitriolic withering. Your whole team can be down there, and one of you can have it, and as long as one of you gets it done, you're all going to be fine. So let's go ahead and get on to the next weapon. Alright, the next melee weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is the 1-inch punch, or when upgraded, the Iron Fist. Now the 1-inch punch is a one-hit kill up to round 19, and the only way you can get this is on Origins. And to get this, there's going to be 4 chests located around the map, and you have to kill 30 zombies near them, and you better hope a robot doesn't step in that path, because if he does, he's going to reset that chest. And also, if you leave the chest for too long, the chest is going to close, so you really don't want to do that. So you kind of just really want to get your train in there, kill them all really quick, and then get out of there before the robot comes. And to upgrade this to the Iron Fist, which is a one-hit kill up to round 36, you're going to have to be doing the Easter egg, and you actually upgrade this to the Iron Fist towards the end of the Easter egg, which really kind of sucks. And depending on which staff you're actually holding when you upgrade it, you're going to gain that ability. So say you have the ice staff when you upgrade it to the Iron Fist, you're going to have like a freezing ability. Say you have the fire staff when you upgrade it, you're going to catch zombies on fire. Same goes for lightning and same goes for wind. The 1-inch punch is very useful to have, but the Iron Fist is kind of a bitch to get. I mean, you have to do the Easter egg, and if you're playing solo, it's a little hard to get. Not impossible, but just a little bit hard, and you're going to be wasting a lot of time. So I would definitely get the 1-inch punch. It can be very helpful. It doesn't really cost you anything but killing some zombies and getting some points. And if you're playing with friends or if you're playing solo and you just really want the Iron Fist, go ahead and do the Easter egg, get the Iron Fist, and you'll be set up to round 36. So let's go ahead and go on the last and final melee weapon. Alright, and the last melee weapon I'm going to be showing you guys is actually the elemental staves on Origins. So when you actually upgrade all the elemental staves, you don't have to upgrade all the elemental staves to get this ability. As long as you do it to 1, you're going to be fine. So hypothetically, if you upgrade the ice staff, all the ice staff's going to have this ability. And this is going to be a melee to where you basically just swipe your staff at the front of the zombie. And it's going to be effective up till round 16. But if you do end up acquiring the 1-inch punch or the Iron Fist, those are actually going to override this melee attack. So say you have the Iron Fist and you have the upgraded staff and you try to knife a zombie, the 1-inch punch is actually going to take over and you're not going to be able to use the ice staff anymore, which is actually kind of a good thing since the ice staff's melee isn't as strong as the 1-inch punch or the Iron Fist. But hey, say you just feel like yelling it out and just want to use the ice staff's melee, go right ahead, don't grab the 1-inch punch and you'll be set. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm very curious to know what was your guys' favorite melee weapon out of all the games, World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2. And if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. Peace. Back.